They called him a madman, a mystic, a backward farmer. But time has proven otherwise, because the visions of Siener van Rensburg didn't fade with time, they exploded into reality. And today, we are standing in the ruins of the world he saw coming. This is not a conspiracy, this is not speculation, this is fulfilled prophecy, South African prophecy, and it's time to face the truth. Before we continue, if you're loving the content and want to take things to the next level, why not consider joining the channel? As a member, you'll unlock some seriously awesome perks. We're talking exclusive badges, emojis to flex in the comments, sneak peeks of upcoming videos, and even special shoutouts during the show. Plus, you'll be directly supporting the channel so I can keep bringing you the best content possible. Just hit that join button below and take your seat among the legends. And hey, if you're not ready to join, no worries. Your likes, comments, and shares still mean the world to me. Thanks for being here, and know that you are appreciated. Now let's continue with the video. Let's begin where Siener's warnings first pierced through the darkness. He saw the Boer people betrayed, not only by enemies but by their own supposed allies. In one vision, he saw a white pig being embraced by a dark figure. The pig turned and stabbed the man. This was interpreted as Britain's betrayal of the Boer nation. Siener foresaw how the British would smile in peace, only to strike a fatal blow behind closed doors. He predicted the death camps where Boer women and children would die by the thousands, and it happened. Not 20 years later, but in his own lifetime. Then he warned about a future time, our time, when the old South Africa would fall, and a new system would rise, one that claimed to be free, but was rotten to the core. He saw the ANC long before they took power. In his visions, he spoke of a black government rising to power, but they would be controlled by foreign hands, puppets on strings. He saw a snake wrapped around the country, squeezing it slowly. This was not freedom. This was destruction disguised as democracy. And here we are, corruption, decay, betrayal, just like he said. He saw a future where money would become worthless, where the value of the rand would collapse, and people would trade with chickens and food again just to survive. He saw families broken apart, churches filled with deception, women leading men astray, fathers abandoning their children. He saw the collapse of moral order before it ever began. One of the most haunting fulfilled visions was of white people being hunted like animals. He saw red rivers, blood, flowing across the land. And in his visions, the land cried out for justice. He saw farmers attacked, homes burned, and the media covering it up with a smiling mask. He predicted this deliberate, violent cleansing of the Afrikaner people. And today we call it farm murders, but Siener called it judgment through betrayal. He even saw Europe falling into chaos, a rising immorality that would infect the whole world, and a global movement that would try to erase identity, faith, and tradition. He warned that South Africa would not be alone in suffering. The entire world would rot under this new, false light. He foresaw a time when Russia would rise, when Germany would fall, and when America would become confused, leaderless, and weak. Each of these visions, once mocked, have either already happened or are happening right now. Siener never promised that everyone would survive. In fact, he said most would not. But he saw a remnant, a purified, broken people who would return to God with everything they had left. He saw a small group of faithful Afrikaners who would rebuild after the land was swept clean, not by politics, not by man, but by the hand of God. The visions of Siener van Rensburg were not dreams. They were warnings, and now, they are memories of what he saw before we ever lived through it. So the question is no longer, was he right? The question is, what will we do now that we know? Thanks for watching. See you next week when we will look at the current state of the nation.